Hey everyone, welcome to The Grind. We are week 2 of our series talking about the apostles, and today we're going to be talking about Andrew. Pastor Betty talked about Andrew, how he was the first called, but yet very little attention has been paid towards him, and he was always living in the shadow of his brother Peter. Okay, first question is this: what was something that you were so excited about that you had to tell everyone?
Nathan?
I think we all know what Nathan's excited about, but we're
Well-
gonna have him let you know.
Sorry, wait, just
Just wait for it.
Liverpool are going to Paris, baby!
Yeah, he's so excited about it. He's been, telling everyone.
Congratulations, bro.
Yeah,
Well, thank you.
congratulations.
I
We're
mean-
so happy for you.
This time next week, it could all have ended in tears, but
Well, one thing that I'm super excited about, and I can't wait to tell people, is when Nathan gets his new toys.
Wow.
Okay,
Yeah.
What a
okay.
way to
Okay.
reveal.
To
Nathan.
reveal his toys. Oh, don't trust me. His toys are worth it, worth the attention, because he just loves them. So we just love to celebrate with him. And so I can't wait to tell everyone, hey, by the way, Nathan got a new toy.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Nice. Congratulations again. Well, I think it's Dockyard for me.
Oh, Dockyard.
The
Tell us more about
hum-hum.
Dockyard.
The what?
Wow, he's
He's
so,
so excited.
Like,
Short circuit.
Just so what?
Good.
That really nice food court in Hom Hum. When I found out about that, I always invited everyone to go eat there. Oh, where do you want to meet? Let's go Dockyard.
It is a great place.
It is a nice place.
good to
Nice,
be fair.
spacious.
Good food and good environment.
So we see that Andrew was first called, and when he was first called by Jesus, he was asked by him, "What are you seeking?" And what do you think Andrew was seeking in that context?
I think he was seeking for an alone time with Jesus. Because he knows
News. His
what's happening to me. He knows that Jesus is pretty busy with his ministry, and he felt that finding a time where Jesus would go back to where he's staying would be the perfect time for him to just spend an alone time with God, with Jesus.
Yeah.
And yeah, knowing that he is the Messiah that they've been waiting for,
Yeah.
and spending that time with him is very important for Andrew. So that's what I think.
Yeah. I mean, Andrew was so quick to respond when Jesus called. And what do you think Andrew was so quick to respond?
I think maybe Andrew was maybe in the mode of searching, and he finally found someone to follow, and he's like,
Yeah.
okay, I'm gonna latch onto this,
Latch onto this.
as much
Yeah.
as possible. So it's like when you find out, like when you discover a new YouTube channel or something, and you just want to watch and find out as much as you can about whatever they're talking about.
Yeah.
Like he wanted someone to follow. He found someone, so he's
Yeah.
gonna,
And in a way, he was already set up for it because he was one of John the Baptist's disciples,
Yeah,
and
yeah.
John the Baptist has been, telling him about the Messiah to come. And then so when he saw him, he knew that this was the fulfillment
He's like-
of what John the Baptist was talking about.
It's the guy. It's the guy. It's
The guy.
Yeah, it's like for me it was like Bruno Mars. So I've been really into Bruno Mars, and then finding out that he's gonna be in Hong Kong.
He is?
No, during that time.
Oh,
That time. sorry, Pat. Wrong info.
I'm so excited.
Expectations so high.
My readiness to respond to the call of Bruno. What? Okay, carry on.
So yeah, and then you're like so excited to go to his concert, something like that. So
That was, that would have been.
I'm sorry you got upset about that.
I wanted to be at that concert. I really did. He would have put on a great show. But it is what it is. So, how about you guys? Were you quick to respond to Jesus when he called you? Or how did he call you?
I would say half.
Half.
I think the fact that I don't have a specific moment where I felt like that's the calling probably says I wasn't too quick to respond.
Probably a bit blur. It's like, was that
But-
Jesus calling you? Huh?
But more like, oh, here I am now. It's happened. So do my best.
I think it's more of like the reason why I said half is just because I doubt in the sense like if it's really God calling me to do something, or it's just me wanting to do something, you know, like
True. Or even
So-
like not doing something for God, but more of like, like, hey, be in like I'm calling you Rico, be in a relationship with me. Like, how's that how did that, I guess, click in your head that Jesus is the real deal?
Oh, I think it took a while as well until you start experiencing things that you know that the Lord is the one who's been doing.
Right.
So, like for example, the calling in terms of like worship leading, that one took like years and years before I kind of responded to that one as well. Just because I think, on my part, I had fear in my heart as well because
Yeah.
I never wanted to be at
The person in the spotlight.
yeah, exactly. So
Right.
yeah, now that people have been asking me to talk, I
Oh.
prefer singing.
I think same thing for me. I think you hear like the stories of how people like, had this past, and then the moment Jesus stepped in, they it was like a 180
A life-changing thing,
life-changing
yeah.
thing, and I think I've always envied that, because when people ask me to share my testimony, I'm like, oh, but it's not like that fantastic. It's not like some life-changing thing, But then the thing is, I was stopped one time. I was like, it is life-changing for you. It doesn't have to be like, you were like doing drugs, partying, stuff like that. I mean, whatever Jesus does is life-changing.
Yeah.
So I think it definitely was a process of Jesus changing my life. And yes, I'm a bit blur sometimes,
Yeah.
So Jesus calling me, it took a while to kind of figure out. And I think oftentimes I just find myself going with the flow. And I think maybe sometimes being afraid of responding
Yeah.
to Jesus if he asked me to do anything, It's just like, is this for reals? I'm not really sure. Is this? Ah. And then, overthink something. And then it's like, boom, like move on with life,
And I think the crazy thing is that whenever usually the Lord calls you, He will
Yeah.
bring you someplace where it's not the most comfortable thing on your part.
Yeah.
So like even for the fishermen, like they're fishermen,
Yeah.
and then you're asked to speak in the crowd,
Yeah.
something like that. It's
Go on, heal the sick.
Yeah, go on. I mean, I've only just spent the whole my life, and also bear in mind again, these people, these apostles, they were young people, so it's not like they were like individuals that have had like a lot of experience in life, So it's just like asking me when I'm like 20, just like boom, go speak to the crowd. It's like what? So, but like what we heard, like Ken said last week, how God doesn't call that. God doesn't call the qualified, He qualifies the call. It's also all about the calling that's placed upon your life and responding to it. And I really like how Andrew, he just basically, like what Pastor Barry said, he just like stepped up and called and stepped up to his call no matter what. He wasn't worried about supporting and working behind the scenes. To him, whether he's the center of attention or behind the scenes, as long as he's getting the work done for Jesus, it's all good. And I know sometimes maybe like we are all siblings here. Have you guys ever competed for attention?
No, because it was never a competition in my house.
Oh!
No.
Wow. Tell us
No,
more.
that's not
It's
true.
It's
That's
a
not true.
bitterness right there. I sense a little bit of bitterness.
No, that's not true.
Yeah, not true.
I think the attention goes to me when there's something wrong that's happening.
Oh yes, I don't want that attention. I agree.
Because you're the eldest, right?
Yeah,
Like-
me
like-
and Rico are the elder kids, and then Nathan's the younger kid. So, oh yeah, for sure. The attention goes to us when there's trouble.
Yes.
But Trina, you are older. You should know better.
Yes,
And-
exactly. You should forgive your bad. Wait, why am I doing that? That's not how my parents would talk.
the impactful.
Yeah.
What is an impactful memory?
Impactful meaning. I'm just kidding.
So, Andrew being the younger sibling, and also again, like I said, living in the shadow of his brother, like ultimately he would want to compete for attention, but he didn't. He was just carrying on the work, and
Yeah.
if anything, actually, this is where the term second fiddle comes into play, like originated from, because this dude was second fiddle to everything. And I think I like what Pastor Betty said, that the second fiddle in the orchestra is usually the hardest to fill, because who wants to play second fiddle?
Yeah.
Right? Anyways, but like, so Andrew didn't have any problems supporting, because I think he just like had such a humble heart, and the whole like idea is like when you start comparing, you weren't able to carry on the work for Jesus. So I guess the next question is this: is how what are some traits or signs of self-centeredness, and how can we shift from being self-focused to Christ-centered? I really liked how Pastor Betty mentioned that, self-focus can take two forms, right? Because sometimes, it can be pride, like, oh, I'm too good for this, I'm not gonna do it. Jesus calling me to go serve the poor, like, please, I'm better than that. And then there's the pride. And then it actually also can take the focus of, being so afraid of failure that we step back when we should be stepping forward. And I think I really appreciate that contrast, because oftentimes we think self-focus is like, man-centered, like, oh, it's all about what, this is too, I'm too good for this. But actually sometimes when we start thinking about like, oh, I'm not good enough, that's also still man-focused too, because it's focusing on your abilities and what Jesus can do through you. So I liked how she focused on, she mentioned that. And I think that is, in a way, some sign of, she basically answered it like that. Those are some signs of self-centeredness. And I can relate to that, because sometimes when I'm called to do stuff, I feel like I don't have what it takes. My brain is not wired that way. And I start to just question, like, is it really me? Like, I'm too tired, like there's other people, like I don't think I have time. And then I just don't see that actually it could be a call of Jesus upon my life to do this.
Yeah, I think if you're looking at it like that, right, it is self-centered to deny people the opportunity to be blessed by your gifts.
Yeah.
Whatever you've been given. If you just hide it in a corner or hide yourself in a corner, you're not helping anyone. And that in itself is self-centered, self-focused. So to shift to being Christ-centered is embracing what you've been given, what you've got. And yeah, sure, it's not going to work out every time because, we fail at things. It's what humans do. But along the way, there will be successes. You will be able to help people. You will bless people in ways you don't know. So, yeah.
I think another one would also be like hogging all of the workload, like doing the stuff by yourself.
Yeah,
because
not delegating.
That's rather than delegating it to other people, giving opportunities for them to work with you as well. Because sometimes, even for me personally, sometimes I encounter these situations where I would do these works, which could have been could have been easier if it's been delegated to different people. But just because I want it to be done specifically in this way and stuff like that. And that one I think also is in the area of like being self-centered, because you want things to be done your way. You want things to be finished your way, and even sometimes because you've done all of the work, the spotlight goes to you because you're the one doing the job, which is something that I think also I'm guilty sometimes, that I've been sort of like doing all of the workload when sometimes I don't even meet the deadline.
I think then the hard part is actually then also giving the credit where it's due. Because you can go like, I delegated all the work. I managed all of this perfectly. So even if other people did the work for you, it's like, but I made it happen. So to actually take the spotlight off yourself in those situations and say like, we all did this for the same goal, and everyone deserves the recognition.
That's very true.
Yeah, I mean, like, going back to Andrew, right? He knew his lane, and if he didn't know his lane, he tried to like kind of step through everyone. I think there wasn't anyone to kind of like work behind the scenes, Like, I like the story of, and I missed this detail actually when Pastor Betty was talking about it, about how like Andrew was the one who brought like the bread and fish to Jesus when they're trying to figure out like how to feed the disciples, right? Like he was like, right, we have this, it's something small, like, what can we do with it? I mean, in the human perspective, it's like, why would you even bother? There's like thousands of people. Why would you bother to bring this? But Andrew just brought it. It's like, you're right, here we go. Like, Jesus, here's something. And Jesus took that something and multiplied it. So I guess as we, wrap up this discussion, Andrew knew his lane, and likewise, we're all placed in different positions. We've got, worship leader, we've got a bassist, we've got a communicator. If we try to do each other's things, like, oh, mama, it'll be a hot mess. But I think it's knowing to appreciate the gifts and the calling that God has placed upon our lives and stepping up to that and knowing our lane. And I think, like what you said, right? If we, become so self-focused and don't use our own gifts, then that it prevents other people from being blessed.
Yeah.
And I think in our own way, we can be used to reach people for Christ. Doesn't have to be like, evangelists like Reinhard Bonnke, and Daniel Kalenda, that kind of thing. But, in our own small ways, being in the community and reaching people. And I think that's how Pastor Betty, and it's like people are looking for authenticity these days. They don't need some plastic, version of us. They need someone who's real. And so, yeah, if you're joining us today, thank you so much. Wherever you are, just, reach out to your community, just go in there and, who you are, God can just use you to be a blessing to people and to really transform lives for Jesus. So, I think that's that for today. Thanks for joining, and we'll see you next week for a very special episode.
Bye.
Bye.